Hey guys, so I thought I would do a video showcasing my current drugstore favorites. Since I do a lot of videos with new stuff, I wanted to just showcase the things that I use constantly all the time. So I may purchase something and use it over and over, and then again I may purchase something and never use it again and I give it away. So it just kind of depends on if I like it, if it works for me, you know, etc. So first of all, excuse my hair, it's fuzzy, it's messy, it is what it is. There's no help for it today, but we're just gonna ignore it and push through. So I want to start with eyes, and this should come as no shock or surprise. This is the Believe Beauty Lock It In eyeshadow primer. This is the shade Universal. Out of the two shades, the translucent and the universal, I think the universal shade is definitely my favorite. So I like to just rub that in. This is so good. If you have a Dollar General next to you or around you, I say grab this. I wish they would like let you order online, because that would be so wonderful. But this is really a great line, and I think this is like $3.50. So makes it even better when it's cheap. So I was trying to think about eyeshadows that I like from the drugstore. I like a lot. I really do. I like Wet n Wild has some good eyeshadows. The last palette that I tried from Wet n Wild, I wasn't crazy about. The mattes in it were really good. The shimmers, not so much. Or the shimmer I tried was not so great. There are a few different ones that Wet n Wild has that are just phenomenal. Then there's, you know, there's hits and misses out there. Elf has the bite size, you know, that's the wind. Elf has the bite size quads that are, you know, really good. But in thinking about what I used from the drugstore the most, and you may or may not consider this drugstore, but my most used drugstore eyeshadow brand is Colourpop. And the reason I consider this drugstore is at Ulta, it's in the drugstore section. So that's why I'm considering this drugstore. You can order this offline, and you can also purchase in-store at Ulta. So that's why I've chosen to consider this drugstore, because the pricing is so affordable. So this is my favorite palette at the moment from them. It's the That's Taupe palette. It is a lot of cool tones, which are really beautiful. And I just saw that Allie Glines, which is one of my favorite YouTubers to watch, she just came out with a bundle with Colourpop, and this was her favorite palette as well. So it's part of that bundle, and I really like it. So I just think this is just beautiful colors and tones, and this came out about the same time as the Natasha Denona Glam palette, and so I waited on this for a little bit, but I'm so glad I picked this up. So I think I'm going to start with this shade here. It's called Boa. And I'm going to just put that in the crease. It may not show up, but I want to just kind of do a slight transition. It's very close to my skin tone, but it's just a tad bit deeper, so it'll give a contour shade. Colourpop always has kick up, just FYI. The only thing I don't like about this palette, I don't like that it doesn't have a mirror. That's the only thing I don't like. My favorite palette before this one, and one that I still love, was the Colourpop Golden Coconuts palette. I love this palette. It's so beautiful. Some warm and cool tones in this one, but it has the mirror, and I love that. But I wish that That's Taupe was in one of these with the mirror. That's the only thing I can complain about. The next shade I'm going to take is this Python shade, and I'm just going to kind of drop it just a tad bit lower than what I just put down, and take that through the crease as well. Then I'm going to take this deepest shade, which is called Bedrock, and I'm going to put that in the outer V of the eye, just for depth and dimension. I think that's so pretty. It's starting to rain. There was supposed to be some major thunderstorms coming through. I heard the wind just a minute ago. I love all these shimmer shades. I just swatched them so you could see how pretty they are. So pretty. They're all gorgeous. And this one here is called Slated. This one is called Slated. And it's actually a super shot shadow. So it doesn't actually like come off super pigmented. Like when I swatch it. But it did because my hand was a little bit wet. But it doesn't always look that pigmented on the eye. But for today, I want to, I'm torn. I want to do Snake Eyes or Constrictor. Snake Eyes Constrictor. Snake Eyes Constrictor. I think I'm going to do Constrictor. It kind of goes with my shirt a little bit better. So I'm going to put that on the lid. I'm going to put it on most of the lid, let's say. Then I think I may take just a little bit of this shade, the Snake Eyes, and just put in the inner corner. That way it's a little bit lighter, and I've used both the shades I wanted to use. That is so pretty. What do you guys think? You like it? I think it's gorgeous. So my favorite, well, this is drugstore prices at least. My favorite drugstore primer right now is the Revolution Niacinamide primer drops. They're mattifying, and they are so good. They just come out in a little dropper. So I just put it on my hand. They feel like really hydrating when you first put them on, but then they dry down and it's very mattifying. Like I can tell the difference. I love these. I love them. They're vegan and cruelty free, so that makes them even better in my book. But I love them so much, I'm halfway through the bottle. And that says a lot with a collection as big as mine. So, and then for foundation, I wanted to get something that I used a lot and that I loved, and I filter through my foundations a lot, but the one that I thought of that I loved, like I love a lot right now. I love a lot of foundations, high-end and drugstore, but especially like in the drugstore I love a lot. But this one is just a really good one, and one of the reasons I wanted to use a mattifying primer is because I'm using a hydrating foundation. So this is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, and it is so good, you guys. When I first purchased it, I was just interested and intrigued by it, and I thought, I'm not gonna like this, but then I fell in love. So even if you think that you won't like this and you're too matte, or you're too oily, excuse me, that you're too oily for it and you won't like it, trust me, just give it a try. It's not that expensive, so if you don't like it, then that's okay. But like if it's something you considered, I say go for it. The only complaint I have is the smell. It can be a little much sometimes. And this I may have put a little bit too much on, but I am going to use my beauty blender, or not a beauty blender. I'm going to use my Juno & Co. Microfiber Sponge, and so it's going to soak up a little bit of product. That's why I put out a little bit of extra, although most of the time I put out quite a bit anyway. But I love this sponge. It's not technically drugstore, but it is a good price, so I love the finish of this. Even though it is still dewy, I still love the finish. I think it's gorgeous. My very favorite drugstore concealer right now is the Wet n Wild Incognito. It is so good, you guys. I think it's amazing. But first of all, can we just see the coverage that I got even using a sponge with that tinted hydrator? It was a tinted hydrator. I started to say, wait, I said that wrong. Is it brightening? Yes. I probably could have went a little bit deeper. This is the shade Fair, so I probably could have went a shade darker, but still, I don't mind it once it's blended out. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer. I like to use this under my eyes just like as brightening. So that's what I'm going to do today. So good, I hit pan on it. This is a really good dupe for the Hourglass like diffuse light finishing powder. This one here. This is the Sculpture Edit palette that I have, but it's a really good dupe for it. My favorite drugstore setting powder, and this can be found at Target, so it is drugstore. This is the Hailey's Beauty Retouch Perfecting Powder. It is the loose setting powder. It is in a different packaging now. I think it's like a cream color lid. But it is the same product, and I love this stuff. It's good. There's what it looks like when it comes out. It doesn't have a shade, but I think it's just translucent. So I just put this over the rest of my face because I'm oily, and I need it. It gives such an airbrush finish. I love it. I think my favorite drugstore bronzer at the moment, and I rotate these pretty often, but it's the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer. It's in the shade 2. Sunkissed. I just love this. I think it's kind of a little bit cooler, and I like a cooler tone bronzer for myself. And it smells really good. But tomorrow I could have a new favorite. I reach for this one quite a bit though. I reach for it quite a bit and I still have quite a bit left. For blush, I've been reaching for this quite a bit. It's actually between this and the e.l.f. Bite Size Duos, the face duos, but this has been one I reach for quite a bit. But this is the CoverGirl True Blend So Flushed. It's the High Pigment Blush, and the color is So Flushed. So that's what I've been reaching for quite a bit lately. I love it. It's a deeper color, but I really love the deeper color. And even going into spring, I think I could still pull this off. And it's very pigmented, so you don't need a whole lot. I literally barely tapped in because I went ham with it before. Now for highlighter, I've been reaching for this a lot lately, and it's the Milani Baked Highlighter in Dolce Perla, and it is broken, so I'm trying to hold it so it doesn't fall out, but it comes out of the pan. I need to glue it back, but I've just never taken the time to do it. But it's such a beautiful shade. I love this shade. So, so pretty. For brows, my favorite brow combo is actually my NYX Lift and Snatch. This is just in general. My NYX Lift and Snatch is just in general my favorite. And I go back and forth between the NYX Micro Brow Pencil and the CoverGirl Ultra Fine. So today is the CoverGirl Ultra Fine. So what I do is I just take my NYX Lift and Snatch. I'm not done yet. I'm just telling you what I do. I take that and I just go through and I kind of map out where I'm going with it. And then I'll go through with the spoolie and just kind of comb through. Because you still have some playtime with it. Then I go in with my pencil and I get a little bit more precise. See how this one's a little more precise than that one? That's what I do with the pencil. Then I reach for my Makeup Revolution. This is the brow gel. I keep forgetting what the name is, and it's just brow gel. I'm crazy. But this is in the shade Ash Brown, and I just go and just take it through the brow just to kind of set everything to hold it into place. And that just kind of is my brow routine. I know I usually skip over it, but I wanted, you know, brows are something personal for people. Like what works for me may not work for you, vice versa. You may not like the way that I do my brows. You may not particularly care for the way that they look, and that's okay too. But everybody has a different way of doing them, and so that's why I just kind of go over them, is because it takes me a little bit to get there. So I just kind of speed through a little bit. But once I put that brow gel through, if I need to take the pencil back, I will, to clean up anything. I like that combination of color though. I don't feel like it's too dark for me, and I feel like it's, you know, a good color match for my hair color. All right, so let's finish the eyes. Going back to That's Taupe, I'm gonna go into the shade Python and just run that along the lower lash line. And I'm going to take a little bit of that lightest shade Boa and just kind of soften the edges a little. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this deepest shade, which is Bedrock, with a liner brush, and just on this outer portion, just kind of connect it to the top. So just basically like an outer third. I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to take my Colourpop liquid liner in the shade Grande, and I'm going to line my top lash line. I don't know if I need to say it, but this is my favorite liquid liner. Even above like any of the black ones, I think I use this the most out of all my liquid liners. And again, I consider Colourpop Drugstore. I like that liner because I know if I put it down, I'm going to come back and it's going to be right there. I don't have to question it. It will be there. And I've been reaching for this a lot lately, and you're going to be surprised. It's not Colourpop. It is the Revlon So Fierce Vinyl Eyeliner, and it's in the shade Mighty Mocha. I love this. It's so good. This is going in my waterline. And I've been getting a lot of new mascaras lately. I have an addiction to mascara, and it's bad, but it's been mostly Drugstore, believe it or not. And this is my new favorite mascara from the Drugstore. This is the Essence Lashes of the Day Super Volume Mascara. This is good. I'm going to show you the wand. Look how pretty the wand is. I mean, like, it's just like a perfect mascara wand. It's so good, you guys. It really is. I love that mascara. It's good. I got it at CVS too, so go pick it up. My favorite Drugstore lip liner. I love the e.l.f. Retro Paradise line. That was a great one, but the one I reach for the most, the one that I've sharpened more than any from the Drugstore, is the Colourpop Lippy Pencil in BFF. Love this. It's so good. So this is my favorite. It's a mess. That's how good it is. So I'm gonna line my lips with this. I just love it. It's so pretty. And then I also have this one in So Happy that I got. It's from the I forget which collection, but it's just a little cooler. And I love it. I reach for it quite a bit too, but I just wanted to show you there is a difference. It's just a tad bit deeper. I don't even know if y'all can see it. I can see it in person, but the So Happy is just a tad bit deeper than BFF. So it's very, very beautiful, and I love both of these. Any of the Colourpop Lippy pencils are really good. So I've not sharpened the So Happy one that much. Maybe once, I don't know. but you can see the difference in size. Again, for a collection as extensive as mine, that says something. And I think my favorite lipstick would have to be the e.l.f. Seriously Satin and Cream. This is just so good. It's one of my favorites, and I use it with everything, so. It's so pretty. This can just make any look. Like, that's it rolled down, so you can see how far down it is. But I've really used this quite a bit. But it feels good on the lips, and it's just a good color. I might need to purchase a backup just in case they decide to get rid of this for some reason. I'm not going to wear a gloss today, but if I was going to choose a gloss, it would probably be a Juvia's Place gloss. And again, I know that's not technically drugstore, but you can get it in the drugstore section at Ulta, and they have drugstore prices, so that's why I'm choosing that. Any of their glosses, they have amazing glosses, and I actually need to purchase some more. I've only gotten one so far, but I just know that they're good. One last thing, I almost forgot to do this. I'm going to highlight my brow bone with that Milani highlighter and my inner corner. I could have done it with the slated Super Shock shade. Again, it's so pretty, but it has some glitter to it. I don't know if you guys can see the glitter. I don't know if it shows up on there, but it does have glitter in it, and if I put something glittery near my eyeball, it gets in there and irritates it so bad. I do wear contacts, and it will irritate my eyes so bad that I don't want to do that. I just rather not. So still a beautiful color and very wearable, just not on my inner corner. And even my brow bone, sometimes it'll if I have glitter up there, it'll kind of flake off and fall into my eye. So that's why I don't do that. But I love this palette. It's so good. There's so many good things out of it. So that was my full face of my drugstore favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll do a quick rundown really quick. Of course, the eyeshadow palette. Love this. It's so incredible. I think it's like $12 to $15 on Colourpop. I'm not exactly sure, but it's very affordable, and they still do have it available, which is something to be said for Colourpop. These drops, they're amazing. They're so good, you guys. And I like to do, like, if I'm gonna wear a matte foundation, I like to do a hydrating primer. If I'm gonna wear a hydrating foundation, I like to wear a matte primer. And I've just found that that is what works best for my skin, and I don't get as oily. I feel like it controls my oils a little bit better to kind of balance it out that way. So that's why I just love these to wear with a more hydrating something on my skin. The Tinted Hydrator, I did not think I was going to like it. I was very skeptical in the beginning, but I still wanted to try it just because so many people had mentioned it and talked about it. The best purchase I've ever made, and I'm sure it's like less than $10, maybe less than $5. I'm not 100% sure. I forgot what I paid for it, but I know that it was very inexpensive. This concealer is amazing. I truly reach for it all the time. I'm surprised that I have as much left that I do. It's that good. But I love it, and I even like the brightening effect of it. I know it's still a little bit brightening for me, but that's kind of what I go for. So I really love this concealer, the Incognito Wet n Wild. This is amazing. Much better than their Photo Focus. Leaps and bounds. This Wet n Wild powder, amazing. If you can find it, I think that they've started selling it in stores now, and I'm pretty sure Dollar General carries it, but I purchased a bunch from eBay. Somebody had like 3 in a set, so I did purchase them from there just to have some backups. But this is good stuff, especially to highlight that under eye area and just keep it nice and bright. I really enjoy it. This Hailey's Beauty Retouch powder is absolutely amazing. It's probably one of the more expensive products that I use today, but it gives me such an airbrush finish on my skin. It is so good. They hardly ever have it in stock because it sells out so fast. It is that good. It really truly is. And at first, when I first used it, I was like, I don't know if I like this or not. But it truly, the longer it sits on your skin, the better it looks. And it's just good. It's really good. This is an old favorite, the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer. I love it. It's perfect. I like a cooler tone bronzer. And it's not that I stray away from warm tones. I have plenty of warm tones too. But I just love the Silky Matte. And how it's just kind of like, it's more neutral, I guess. It's not really cool, but it's just really neutral. And it smells good. I smelled it. Oh, it smells so good. The CoverGirl blush is absolutely amazing. I love this stuff. I will never be able to go through a whole CoverGirl blush in my lifetime because it is so pigmented that you barely need any on your skin. So I barely dip into this, and as you can see, I use it quite a bit, truthfully, and I've barely made a dent in it to even get rid of the CoverGirl stamp. But I use it quite a bit. I truly love it. Truly do. This Milani highlighter, love it. It's so good. I hate that it came broken. I really do, but it didn't stop me from using it and loving it. I just need to glue it back in there, and I just haven't. So I've not let that stop me. It didn't delay the process of me loving it. So it's a really great highlighter, and if you get the chance to pick it up, definitely grab it. My brow stuff. You guys know I love this. The Lift and Snatch pencil, or pen, not pencil, but the Lift and Snatch pen from NYX is absolutely amazing. One of the best things they've come out with. Very, very comparable to the Brow Blade from Urban Decay. And I'm absolutely in love with the Brow Blade too. So I love that this is a more affordable option, and that I can just pick it up so much easier than I can a Brow Blade. So that's why I love this. And I love my CoverGirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil, and I also like the NYX Micro Brow Pencil as well. They're basically the same pencil. NYX may be a little bit creamier, a little bit smoother, but some people like it a little bit smoother, and some people like it to be a little bit stiffer. So I like them both. I use them both, love them both. So I definitely think that they're absolutely amazing, and really good dupes for the Benefit Precisely My Brow. Both are really good dupes. So they're just amazing. This is probably my favorite brow gel of all time, and that's saying a lot because I've used quite a few brow gels. I've even used the GimMe Brow from Benefit, and I still love this one. And it's more like it's a tattoo brow gel, if you've ever seen it. And it's just very, I just love it. I just love the way that the effect that it gives my brows. It sets them in place, but it also adds that extra color, and for somebody who barely has any brows, it's really nice. So I love this. It's really good. The Colourpop Grande liner, love it. I use it all the time if you guys don't know. This is amazing. I love it. When you put it on, it's going to stay in place. It doesn't run. It doesn't bleed in your inner corner. It doesn't, like if I have a watery eye or something, it's not gonna, you know, I don't have to worry about rubbing off my eyeliner. It's gonna be there. It's gonna stay there. And that's what I love about it. It's really, really good. The Revlon So Fierce vinyl eyeliner, I love it in the shade Mighty Mocha. That's the only one I've tried, but I really love it, and I've used it quite a bit, and I love the how deep it is. I just love that, and I'm so glad I picked this up. You put this down, and once it dries, it's not budging. It's really not. I'm gonna leave it there for a second. The Essence Lashes of the Day. This is not a new product, but this is new to me, and I absolutely love it. I'm so glad I found it. This is amazing. This is so, so good. So if you're looking for a good mascara and you've tried all these high-end mascaras and you've not found one that you love, try this. Try Essence, because I'm telling you, they make some of the best. This and the Lash Princess are probably my top two above every mascara I've ever tried, and that includes high-end. This is just a really good mascara, and I love the volume. I love the length. I think it does amazing things for my lashes, and I love it. So this is amazing. The Colourpop BFF Lippy Pencil, I love it. I love any of their lippy pencils that I've tried. I've not tried an extensive array of them, but I love the formula of the lippy pencil. I think it's really creamy, and then I just think that it glides on very smooth, but yet it stays in place when you put it down, and it's just a really good pencil. So it's definitely, if you've ever wanted a good nude lip pencil, that's a good nude. I love this. It's so good, and I am in love, so in love. This one and the So Happy is really, really good. They're both amazing, and there's not a huge difference unless you're a lip liner fiend like me. You wouldn't be able to really see the difference, except for the undertone. There's a different undertone, and if you're in person, you can see it. This one's a little bit deeper, a little bit cooler of an undertone than the BFF. So, but I love them. They are so good. They're so smooth and creamy. I just absolutely love them. The e.l.f. Seriously Satin Lipstick. You guys know my love for this. I will use it all the time. It is absolutely amazing. It feels so good on your lips. It looks good. I love the color. It looks so good. I can put it over a deeper, liner and make it look so nice, and that's what I love about it. That's why I reach for it a lot. I think this with my nude, any of my nude lip liners is really my perfect combination of lip. And I love a gloss too, don't get me wrong, but this is just amazing. It just makes my lips look really nice. So I just love it. But I'm going to show you this. That's the eyeliner. I'm rubbing. Nothing came off on my hand. Nothing. It's there. Okay? And yes, it does look like it's rubbed right here, but that's the way I put it on my hand. But there's nothing. Once you put it down, it's staying there. That's what I love about it. It's so good. So I hope you guys maybe found something that you may want to try out and may love. Who knows? So these are my current drugstore favorites. Nothing that is seriously too new. Maybe these Wet n Wild products may be new. I don't know, but nothing too new. They're just all good things that are good staples in my collection that I've had for a while, but they're things I go back to time and time again, and I love them. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm using what's in my collection and getting use out of things that I already love. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and maybe found a gem or two in the mix. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I appreciate you watching so very much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.